How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for watching the show. My name is David Goodman. I'm one of the sheriffs of the city of Bridgeport that's elected by the people of the city of Bridgeport. To my left is Tony Barr, one of the mayoral candidates for the mayorship of the city of Bridgeport. What we're going to be talking about is like we always talk about, is the police departments, the freedom of speech in the United States, the current situations, the situation that just happened in South Carolina. A young black man was shot in the back once again. You know, it's shameful to see things like this actually happening when it's our young children that are dying. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, any of those colors. These are young men. Why is this happening?
Thank you, Mr. Goodman. Always a pleasure to come to your show. And I want to first start off by giving my condolences to the family of the deceased young man. And this is a problem now. This is not maybe this, maybe that. This is a serious problem here in America. And I'm asking, and I want to also thank, and I'm going to thank the governor, the mayor of this town that this took place in, and the chief of police and what he did. He got it right. He got it right. And I like to thank the gentleman that filmed it and waited patiently to allow the police officer to give his understanding of what took place. And what he gave was completely contrary to the actual facts. And the chief of police, I commend you on taking his badge and putting him in a cell where he rightfully belongs. But what I have a problem with is this. You put him in a cell and you charge him with murder. This is more than murder. This was a hate crime by a police officer wearing a uniform. This was truly a hate crime. There's no justification to say that it wasn't. This was truly a hate crime. This police officer woke up that particular morning, put on his uniform, and said, I'm going to find an African, a Puerto Rican, or a Mexican, and I'm going to blow their brains out because the system protects me. And he thought the system would protect him again. And this has been a continuous thing across the country. Over 80 African American men and women have been brutally murdered by white officers. And all of them have been justifiable except for this one. And the reason that this one wasn't justifiable, because the gentleman waited patiently and allowed a police officer to give his account of what took place. And then he brought forth the proof that the officer lied about everything, lied about every damn thing that took place. A young man is in the grave. His family is grieving. Police officer in a cell where a racist police officer is in a cell where he rightfully belongs. Shot this young man 5 times in his back as he ran. I'm not sure whether he tased him or not at that point, but I would like to know what he said to him before this young man realized that his life was in jeopardy. And this officer took his life wrongfully.
You know, it's a shame that it did happen, but like I say, the system has its own characterizes in itself. And what I mean by that is that the system is all the way up here, and people are always saying that there is a gang. Members of the police department are gang members. Well, you know, with all these situations that are going on in the United States, just across the United States, in Bridgeport, right through the whole state of Connecticut, how can we fix the problem? Because the system in itself is a broken down system by itself. And what I mean by that is it comes from Washington and works its way all the way down across the states. My question to you is, what do you think the system should do? How can they fix the whole system that's going on right now?
You fix the system the way that the chief of police handled this situation. He allowed his officer to give his account of what took place. And the officer lied to him and to every decent and respectful officer that put themselves in harm's way every single day. He lied. And when the chief of police saw that he was a liar from the evidence that refuted everything that he said, he took his badge from him and put him in handcuffs and put him in a cell. Once I'm the mayor of Bridgeport, because Tony Barr will be the mayor of Bridgeport, this is the same practice I've been promoting for 2 years now concerning law enforcement that are in uniform, that are not law enforcement people. They're for all the wrong. They're there for all the wrong reasons. We'll put you in a cell and let justice take its course against you. This is what this is about. And I'm asking the Justice Department from Washington, D.C. I'm asking for a special probe to be done on starting from 1999, where over 80 African Americans, women and men, have been brutally murdered openly. Brutally murdered openly by police officers. I'm asking that a probe be done on all these people, officers, to see, are we dealing with something more than officers shooting shooting African Americans, or is there some militia, or there's some supremacist group? And I'm not putting no title. I want to connect every officer that has murdered an African American unarmed since 1999. I'm asking the Justice Department to get, you have all the information, you have their names. Let's see, have they crossed paths in the course from different states through military to whatever the backgrounds are, and let's put some understanding on this. Damn it.
I mean, this situation goes back into a couple of other situations. You had a shooting here with a Bridgeport police officer. You had the shootings in New York. You had the shootings New Haven. Are those shootings clarified or were they justified? Nobody would ever know. Now, what you're asking is for the United States government to actually do a statistic to find out, are those cases truly, in fact, closed cases, solid cases, or is there questions to reopen some of those cases to make sure that justice was done the right way?
What I'm asking is basically what you stated, but what I'm asking is this. I want to be crystal clear, so there's no misunderstanding to the people in my city of Bridgeport, Connecticut, and to everyone in the United States of America that get an opportunity to view what I'm saying. I'm saying that every unarmed individual of African American descent that's been murdered by the police officer. I'm using the word murder because that's what it is until you prove to me otherwise. Not just justifiable because I felt threatened as a police officer. That can't still be the game. And this is what I'm saying. I want the federal government, the Justice Department, to take every case that has taken place, run that person's name against the last person today that up to this date that killed this young man in South Carolina, and see do they have any type of relationship with each other. You don't shoot no one in the back 5 times and you say you're a police officer and then run and put your taser next to him and everyone sees it. This is a hate crime. And he needs to be charged with a hate crime. And I'm asking America to say, no, charge him for what he did. This was a hate crime. What should a black person or African American or a Latino or a Mexican do when confronted by a European officer? Tell me, what should they do? Tell me. Tell me, what should they do if a Latino, an African American, or a Mexican is being pulled over by a white police officer? You tell me what they supposed to do. I want the police to tell me what they supposed to do. Because what they're doing, the police are killing them. And they don't have weapons of no sort. Talking about, oh, well, he has child support and he had a broken tail light. Does this mean he go to the grave?
You know, just talking about that the other day. My problem with the whole situation is that you have law enforcement officers, you have black officers, you have white officers, you got Chinese officers, you got them all. It's an interracial system in itself. You know, when one person lies, and it doesn't matter if he's white, black, Puerto Rican, Chinese, whatever racial you want to say that the officer is, when that one person makes a report like this officer did, he just opened a whole can of worms for the whole system, because now every time that something goes down or something happens, are all these officers lying, or are they protecting one another? That's the problem that's going on. You have officers out here, and I'm not saying you got 100% bad officers. You have a couple of bad officers out here that are using their badges to protect themselves. If they're not protecting themselves, they're protecting somebody else, which is totally against the rules and regulations of what an officer is supposed to do. My what I can't understand is, it's just like when I had my situation happen to me. I had to do what I had to do, and I would say that to anybody. Just because the person has a badge in his pocket doesn't mean he's better than anybody else. He has to follow the same laws like the regular human being out here. But the problem is, and this is what a lot of people say on the streets, the police officers use their badge and go above and beyond to where they shouldn't go. Or, better yet, in a case like this situation that just happened, think about this. This happened in South Carolina. I had a young lady come down to Bridgeport, Connecticut, to receive her child back. She had 3 court orders plus a mandatum to get her child back. And the problem occurred. It did happen. But you know what? That police officer had to face the music. The problem is that every police officer that does this, they need to be taken off the job, because what it's actually doing is hurting the other men and women that are serving on that department. One bad apple can spoil it for the whole department. Yes, my condolence does go to that family. And also, the way the chief did handle that case, he handled that case in a respectful manner, gave his officer the opportunity to make his report, which he did, and in his report, he lied. Because you know what? Not saying that he's discredited now, but there was somebody that had recorded the situation to see what that officer was going to do. And you know what really shocks me and 100% in the manner that it's in is that this person gave the opportunity to the officer of South Carolina to do the right thing, and he didn't. And let me just say this, and thank you. I appreciate how you put that, because I want people to understand. No one in the country is anti-police. We need police. We respect police. Right now, my community, the African American people,
with the rate of how we're being murdered across the country, we have no reason to respect you.